I remember feeling really helpless. Our new little baby boy, 10 days old, would just scream, and every time I touched him to soothe him, he would scream even harder as if it hurt. And so I had never had that with any of my other children. So we took his temperature and ended up taking him into the doctor. And I thought it was just a little checkup. And when we got there, the doctor came in and he didn't even look at my little boy. He just told me what would happen for the next few hours, what our day would look like. And he said that I would go to the ER and there would be a nurse waiting for me, and we would have extensive testing done, and some of it we would have to leave the room for, and that they would then transport us from Grand Haven, where we were, to the Children's Hospital here in Grand Rapids. And so I gathered my things and we went downstairs, and grandparents came and took the rest of the kids, and friends tried to come and pray with us, but they were turned away because they had young children as well, and there was fear of meningitis, and that's what they were testing for, and they didn't want to expose anybody else's children. So he did really well through the first testings, and then it was time to do that more extensive test. Finally, there was this last test that was a pretty delicate test that needed to be done. We had to leave the room. They were going to do a spinal tap. And so we left the room, and my husband Matt and I and our pastor prayed in that waiting room. This doctor came in and he said he did really well through the first testing. And that last one, he did really great, but he had to let us know to be prepared because the spinal fluid was not clear, and it was supposed to be. He had this really somber look on his face, and he wanted to prepare us for the diagnosis he thought we were going to be given. And so I remember praying to God and asking him to use my son's life for his glory, to spare his life so that he could do great things for him. And I remember God asking me if I would still give him glory even if he chose to take my baby. And that was one of the most difficult prayer times, conversations I've had with God, is fully giving my child to him for his glory. That was one of the hardest prayer conversations I've had, and I resolved to lay down my life and the life of my baby for God's glory. And that verse came to me of trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And my own understanding was that this doctor just told me we might have only 24 hours with him. And so I didn't understand how God could do anything different. But I remember just fully giving him to God and allowing him to use his life in whichever way he chose. And so I remember holding him and nursing him for possibly the last time, and remembering that that doctor just looked so somber and certain of the diagnosis to come. And then that doctor came in, confused, a bit bewildered, and a bit taken back. And he said, it's negative. He doesn't have meningitis. I cannot explain what happened. And then he looked at us and he said, the only thing I can say is it's because you prayed. That boy turns 9 this year. He is fierce in his faith and deep in his love for others, and God will be glorified through all the days of his life because we prayed.